Hey guys, this is Jay Taylor with Caney Creek Studio, and we're actually looking at Caney Creek, believe it or not. And we're about 150 feet up, and we're going to go up a little bit more and check things out. Lots of rain here in East Tennessee, and so the creek usually just winds quietly behind all of our houses here. Of course, we've had a massive amount of rain over the last couple of weeks, and this is the result of it. So, Caney Creek Studio is named after a couple of things. First of all, just about a mile or so from this location is my wife's family farm, and there is also Caney Creek with Caney Creek Gospel Music Park. And Julia sang and still does with the Redeemed Quartet, which is a Southern gospel singing group. And they have a park that was in use a couple of times a year until several years ago that was called Caney Creek Gospel Music Park. And we continue that tradition as we launch this digital marketing business. And that's where Caney Creek Studio gets its name. So that is Otis Eldridge Memory Lane, which is, as you can see, kind of flooded out from Caney Creek. And actually right in here, and you can see Otis and Monica have two creeks. There's one small one there, usually small, but it's got quite a bit of water, and then Caney Creek, and they both hit, and that's kind of the result for them. Let me turn down my exposure just a little bit here. There we go. So this is beautiful East Tennessee. I've lived in a couple of areas in my life, and this by far is my favorite. So that big jerk in the video was my obstacle avoidance, and I'm not sure what it detected, but detected something again, so it doesn't like me panning to the right. So we're just going to pan back. I'm about 1,000 feet away from me, about 400 feet in the air. So we're going to check things out here. This is Caney Creek in Stewart Hills subdivision, which is right off of Caney Creek Road. And even though it's just not really raining right now, my drone, because it's traveling about 27 miles per hour, is just picking up moisture out of the air. And we're 200 feet up above the ground. There's my house there with the pool in the back surrounded by the vinyl fencing. And as you can see, we're going to pause for just a second. So you can't tell from the distance here, but the ground there is elevated about 18 inches above our area going right up to the creek. And so that 18 inches is what kind of saves us from things like this. Otherwise it would just come right up and go into the basement of our house. But our gutters have not been able to handle all the water, so we actually have some water in our basement right now. But check this out. Lots of water there, and then doing pretty good out that way. I'm standing in the driveway of my house, so I'm 200 feet up and I'm about 400 feet away. I'm keeping an eye on the drone. If it did not have the LED lights flashing, I would not be able to see it. But because it's got green and red lights flashing, I'm still able to see it. I like to keep the drone in line of sight. Just kind of keep an idea of what's going on. I'm about 1,200 feet away. If I was up about 400 feet, I probably wouldn't be able to see it. There's Caney Creek. Caney Creek winds on up that way and off in that direction, and then goes in front of Julia's family's farm, which is about 60 acres, which also is the Caney Creek Gospel Music Park. Our church has all of our Bible schools and back to school rallies and stuff there. There's the Devil's Nose. I got an obstacle avoidance alert again. I think there's just so much moisture in there that the sensors on the drone are getting confused. Let's spin around here. So Caney Creek runs right in front of Papaw's house. Papa Cross. That's where our oldest son is named from, Cross. But it runs right, and that's Cross Flower Shop, by the way, in Rogersville. So Caney Creek runs right in front of his house, and it got really high and washed out part of his fence. So now let's come back in the opposite direction. I'm shooting at a film speed, an ISO of 400, and I'm shooting at a shutter speed of 1/60th of a second, and I'm recording at 60 frames a second in 1080p footage. And then I simply adjust my f-stop, or the size of my aperture on the drone, to get proper exposure, and in this particular case it's 7.1. It varies even as I do this or I come up. It varies a little bit, but for the most part it stays pretty constant. So there, like, I'm way overexposed because of the white sky, and down here I'm underexposed, but I still think it looks pretty good. There's our house on an acre lot with the pool behind it, and the creek normally is just this little slither running behind the properties, and now it's come up here just within probably about 8 or 9, maybe 8 or 10 feet. That's our neighbors. Gary. Gary's a genius, man. Look how smart he is. He put that, he knew, because you can see about 1.5 feet rise in the land, he knew exactly where to put his storage building. And even though we've had water come up a few times right to it, he's not put it, where it would be at risk of washing away, and all these people have. So let's take another look. And there's the body shop, memory lanes, all these structures here. It's incredibly awesome. If you just Google it, Otis Eldridge Memory Lane, Rogersville, Tennessee, you can see all sorts of different videos on YouTube and the Travel Channel about it. Up there at the road is the body shop. But we're going to spin back around, adjust our exposure a little bit. We're going to come back down. In fact, we're going to come down pretty good this time. When we're doing architectural projects or real estate work, our highest altitude is usually about 150 feet, unless it's just like a large acre of land. But if we're doing one of those listings like in Sevierville or Gatlinburg or something, we usually fly around about 150 feet. The moisture is just starting to pick up just a little bit, and so we're going to probably kind of come in and land. So we're up about 200 feet, and we're going to get a really good look here and kind of just start zooming down as we come and take a look at everything. So my wife Julia and I own Caney Creek Studio, and it's a digital marketing agency, and about 1/4 of our work is with realtors, and about 1/4 of our work is with restaurants, and about 1/4 of our work is with medical professionals, and then the other 1/4 of work is just kind of this hodgepodge of different things. And on most of the listings that we do work on, we not only produce the video and the pictures that you see on the listing, but we also do all the digital marketing behind it. So we'll run the Facebook ads, Google ads, drive traffic, and here we go. There's our house, and we're right above us, and so we're going to come on down and land. It's starting to sprinkle a little bit, and here I am. What's that? Okay, and Julia's telling me that the power just went out. So there we go. That's going to be fun. Ta-da! That is tricky drone flying right there. So check this out. Landing right in my hand. All right, let's move into the garage, people. We're gonna go inside and check on the family. Probably get out some, even though it's daylight, we'll get out some flashlights that we have and some lanterns, kind of check things out, see if everybody's going on. It's funny, my nickname at home is the bedtime bad guy. Yeah, I'm serious. That's my nickname, after 9 p.m., 8 p.m., that's my nickname. I'm serious. But then it's funny, you know, that if the power goes out, even in the middle of the day, almost within just a millisecond of each other, I hear 4 voices in the house say, "Dad!" And that's Julia, Cross, Luke, and Sophia. "Dad!" So the bad guy is also, you know, the guy that they call on when, you know, things are falling apart, which I love. So we're gonna go inside and check on everybody. And usually when the power goes out, like even if it's in the middle of the day, but especially at night, we usually pile together in the living room, we make a pallet, and we will just, you know, kind of all be together basically, and then just kind of, you know, bear the storm, so to speak. So the great thing though about out here is we have a wonderful electrical company, Holston Electric, and a lot of really committed, really qualified, skilled guys, and they work hard. A lot of them are our neighbors and our friends, and they work really hard. And in our particular neighborhood, power's usually not out very long. So this is kind of it. It's a rainy Saturday, and while I've been with you guys, my phone has chimed a few times, and I think some of our editors have some of our real estate projects that are finished from earlier in the week, and also a food photography and video shoot that we did. So I'll go in and spend a few minutes looking at those things and seeing how they look. And if it's a client who, like a realtor, they're always in a rush to get their listings online, and we'll go ahead and deliver those right quick to our realtors. And then other projects, I'll just look at them. If they need changes to be made, I'll email our editors back and go over our changes. And then also our web development team has a dentist website ready that we're working on. And so I'll look at it, probably spend about an hour doing all of that stuff. And then I'll chill, hopefully, for the rest of the day with our family. And that's kind of the nature of being self-employed and running your own business, is that you end up on a Saturday working, you know, when hopefully you would rather be with your family, but by the same token, then, you know, if you want to take, you know, 6 weeks vacation. Let me wipe the water off the lens here. There we go. If you want to take 6 weeks vacation instead of 2, then you can do that. But you usually end up with your laptop and your, you know, your personal Wi-Fi spot with you, and the door just opened to the garage again, and somebody said, "Dad!" So I guess I'm going to wrap this up and go inside and see what the magic world of dadness can do for everybody. So you guys have a great day, and I'll check in with you next time.